Bobby goes to the breaking ball once again, and this afternoon, that baby's got some bite to it.
So here is a tough cookie at the plate. Polanco's 2 for 4. Takes it up high. Against Jinx, this might be as tough out as there is in this lineup. There's a shot.
Yes. And the White Sox are the champions of the 2005 Central Division. Yes! Bobby Jinks comes on and shuts the door as Freddie Garcia will pick up his 14th victory. And the Sox pick up their 96th win of the season. They win it 4-2. Here comes the bubbly and the sudsy and everything else. What a season the Sox have enjoyed in 05. That man right there, Ozzie, last year had a team that had the lead most of the All-Star break, lost a couple of his big boppers, and the big hurt Frank Thomas and Max Ordonez. And the Sox struggled the rest of the way, and Kenny Williams and Ozzie got together, decided they would retool this ball club. As you're looking at some of there's Kenny and Ozzie, the tandem that put it together. What a job of general managing over the winter by Williams, strengthening the starters, strengthening the bullpen, adding more speed, better defense, and guys who could play. And they have picked it up. 96 wins, and you don't win 96 games by accident. You don't win 96 games by luck. You win 96 games because, damn it, you are good.
No question, partner. It's been a long up and down road, and this team deserves to be exactly where they are. They're going to pop that bubbly, deservedly so, and they're going to go into the next 3 games a little relaxed and getting ready for that postseason.
It has been a battle the last month. There's no doubt about that. Some struggling going on, but as I mentioned earlier in the ball game, if you had to write a script, this may have been the way that you would have written it. There are a lot of people that think coming down in a tight race, in a tough race like the Cleveland Indians have given them, and make no mistake about it. The Indians are here to stay. They are not going anywhere. They will be back next year and the year after and the year after with some of the fine young players that they have. But the Sox battled through it, prevailed, and hopefully this will give them the impetus, the momentum going into the playoffs to get things done. As I have said many times this year, this is the best starting pitching staff that I have ever been associated with in 43 years in the major leagues. These guys have been absolutely terrific. You Garland, Burley, Freddie, El Duque at first before he hit on some hard times. Brandon McCarthy coming in. But the guy who stabilized and balanced out the starting staff, no question about it, 11-2 since the All-Star break, is Jose Contreras.
It has been really a nice story and a testament to the coaching staff sticking with Jose and believing in him, and him stepping forward and finally believing in himself. And that man, El Duque, in the middle of your picture, had a lot to do with coaching him along and getting Jose to believe in himself. So it was a team effort all around. 14, 15, 16, and 17 wins 4 of the 5 starters have. And what a great job by Freddie today.
And our Chevrolet player of the game, it is the 29-year-old right-hander, Freddie Garcia. As Freddie went 7 innings, giving up just the 2 runs, 8 hits, no walks, had 5 strikeouts. Our Chevrolet player of the game. What a season for the Sox. 96 victories. Have a chance to pick up 3 more. Clinching the Central Division over a Cleveland team that the only thing that was tough about the Indians this year was not the way they played the second half. The only thing that was unusual was the way they played the first half. We could not know, and nobody could understand how Cleveland, with that ball club they had, was falling on such tough times in the first half. And all of a sudden, they got their offense together. They got it together. Their starting pitching is outstanding. Their bullpen is outstanding. And boy, did they ever put a rush on. We caught a break with that fly ball that was lost in the sun in Kansas City. Nothing Grady Sizemore could have done about that. He can't catch it if you can't see it. But then Lou Piniella's Sweet Lou's D-Rays went in there the last 2 days and beat up on them. 5-1 and 1-0. Checked it, 5-4 and 1-0. So the Indians lose 3 in a row, and the Sox are able to gain a game after losing the first 2 here. And this afternoon they put the pedal to the metal and clinch the division title. And let's take a look. And very fitting that Bobby Jinks, in this particular situation, the way things have been going. There's the line shot by Polanco, and Konerko timed it perfectly. But Bobby Jinks coming over as Kenny Williams acquired him from the Angels. Dustin Hermanson, who was fantastic up until having some back problems. And in Dustin, though, the last couple times out, throwing the ball extremely well. But the point being is that how many managers have you ever seen going down in the tight pennant race where they have 2 veterans? In this case, El Duque, Orlando Hernandez is a starter, and they have Dustin Hermanson as the closer. And the manager has courage enough to put 2 rookies in those spots. And Brandon McCarthy and Bobby Jinks, and both of them got the job done.
Well, you just don't see that very often. As a matter of fact, the last time I can think to somebody given an opportunity late in the season like that and taking over a role and getting it done was Shane Spencer for the Yankees. He got called up from Columbus AAA and hit 12 home runs, I think it was, in the month of September, and helped carry the Yankees off into the playoffs. You just don't see it every day, and when a youngster gets that opportunity, it's nice to see that they can step up and get it done.
Well, one of the reasons they were able to do it was because of the fact that Ozzie, as we talked about, one of the big keys has turned out to be this year for this ball club is he played so many youngsters and so many non-roster players deep into spring training and played them a lot. He had confidence in them. He knew what they could do. But right now, as we continue with this celebration, let's throw it down to Luke Stuckmeyer and Bill Melton.
All right, thanks, Hawk. Division champs for the first time since 2000. Welcome to U.S. Cellular White Sox postgame live. The White Sox celebrating in the clubhouse already. We've got crews out there. We will have wall-to-wall coverage of this celebration, including a bunch of interviews coming from the field and the clubhouse as well. Bill, 4 championships now, division championships since the last 22 years. Chuck Garfien is now out on the field with an interview. Let's send it out to him.
Guys, I'm actually in the clubhouse, and what you're seeing right now is utter celebration in the White Sox clubhouse. The champagne arrived early this morning as it was rushed in. They were not ready for this, but then with the victory by the White Sox and the loss by the Indians, they were in position to bring all this champagne in here, and they had to win. I'm here with Mark Burley. Mark, how does it feel to breathe and have this division title yours?
About time. We waited a long time for this. The way the first half went, we thought it was going to clinch a lot sooner, but we're just glad to go into Cleveland, clinch this thing already, so we just go in and have a little fun, get ready for the playoffs.
You were on this team in 2000, but does this feel better for you because you were more a part of this team?
Yeah, a little bit. 2000, I was only here for half a year. Kind of didn't really know what was going on, trying to get through the clubhouse. Celebrating really wasn't too much of a part of it, but now being here all year, being here for about 4 years, I definitely feel a little bit more of it.
There was all this roller coaster that was going on with this team for a couple of weeks. Are they going to clinch it? Are they going to be able to hold on? How stressful was it for you as a player to be a part of all this, negativity that was around this team? I know it didn't happen here in the clubhouse, but what was it like for you?
Well, it was a little tough when we were going through that little stretch, but we said, we got to keep on coming out and battling. Every team's going to go through that little stretch, and we're just glad it didn't last too long. And you know, this is what day everybody's been waiting for right here, and just going to go out and celebrate.
Congratulations, all right?
Thank you.
Mark Burley. So there's a lot to go. We're going to get a lot of guys. There's Mark Burley. Having a good time. There's John Garland, Brandon McCarthy, Bobby Jenks. We're going to get all these guys here to talk to. Let's see if I can grab someone as soon as I can. There's a lot of people around here. Many people in this clubhouse. Luckily, there was a table that used to be in here. They got rid of the table, so we do have a little bit of space. A lot of fun over here, let me tell you this. This was some nervous moments for the White Sox, but they were able to get it done. Let me bring in Brandon McCarthy over here. Hey, Brandon. Wow. Congratulations.
Thank you.
You're wet, and I'm sure you love it.
Yeah, it's fun as anything. This is just a great time. Glad we're in now, a little stressed off our backs, and it's a good time.
How much a part of this team do you feel?
Starting to feel a little more. Just getting to be here and be a part of this is interesting, but these guys have been through the ups and downs all year, and you know, hopefully I can make myself more a part as we go on.
You were in position to maybe start on Sunday in the regular season finale. You probably are still in position, but it wouldn't have been a situation where you may have been called to save this team on Sunday. I'm sure you would have loved that challenge, but you like this one a little more?
Yeah, this is just nice now. Let's get it out of the way, let ourselves get set and ready for the playoffs, and let's not even worry about it.
All right. Congratulations. We'll talk to you a little bit, okay? Brandon McCarthy, that huge stretch he had as a call-up during the season, and look what he does. A great performance by him. And they're dousing champagne all over everybody here. It is absolute mayhem, bedlam, and in bedlam in a good way, clearly. I see some beers, some champagne. Lots of champagne. They were concerned that maybe the champagne wouldn't get here on time. Luckily, it's in. Hey, Neil. I'm with Neil Kotz right now. You having trouble seeing, Neil?
A little bit.
You need a towel? You okay? I came prepared. Neil, you come in. You've been so quick. You come in those relief positions, relief situations, and you know, you want to be out there for a little bit, but it's one pitch and then you're gone. That's good and bad, I guess. Now, were you ready to go for more tonight?
Yeah, I was definitely ready to go. I mean, one pitch, that's actually a good outing. I mean, the quicker it's done, I only have limited outs, so I mean, it works.
Well, we're live here in the White Sox clubhouse, and Neil, are you more of a champagne guy or are you more of a beer guy?
Whiskey. Whiskey. Don't be above.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
Hey, Paul, you got a sec? Paul Konerko, first baseman. Big home run for you. How good did that one feel? Because no lead is safe, and yet that gave you guys a 4-0 lead.
Yeah, I mean, you know, we know no matter what the score is, it's probably going to come down to the 9th inning. I think we've made that pretty apparent the last 160 games. But bottom line is the job's done here, and you know, that's it. No one picked us. I mean, I know we had the big lead all year. But still, no one picked us at the beginning of the year to do this, so it's still good.
You had said that this, just a couple days ago, that you felt that you guys were tested and this might actually help you out, because these have been playoff games for you, essentially, right?
Yeah, I mean, now that it's over and done with, this is the best thing that could have happened to us, because we've been playing playoff games for the last 3 weeks, and I think this will get us hungry for the postseason now. I don't think we're going out like we did.
Champagne shower. That was Kevin Hickey.
We're going out like we came in. That's with good pitching, good defense, timely hitting, and that's good news. I mean, we want to be peaking right when the playoffs start.
It's nice to talk baseball with champagne streaming down your face, right?
That's not bad. You know, I think we all knew as the year was going on we were probably going to do this, but it kind of went different than we thought coming down the stretch.
All right. There'll be a lot of cleaning bills, I think, tomorrow.
Yeah, well, hey, we pay our dues here.
All right, Paul Konerko, 40 home runs. He's the first player since Frank Thomas, White Sox player, to go back-to-back with 40 home run seasons. As we try to clean out the lenses here on our camera, there's been so much champagne around here. It's pretty remarkable. And they don't go to waste. That's the best part. All right, Isaac Ian is in the clubhouse. I'm going to try and find him as well. Or is he speaking to the media somewhere else? Am I supposed to toss to them, guys? Okay. All right, we'll try and find him in a little bit. Freddie Garcia is here. All right, they're now dumping Jerry Reinsdorf with a whole bunch of champagne. We'll try and get Jerry as well. There's a huge sigh of relief by this team. They felt that they they felt that they could win this division. But under the circumstances, with Cleveland playing so well, and this season getting, I see actually Jerry Reinsdorf. We'll try and get Jerry here. He's trying to clear some of the champagne out of his eyes here. How you doing, Jerry? I think you're doing well.
I'm doing all right.
You're doing okay?
Yeah, I have some experience with this.
Yeah, I know you do. How were the last few days, couple of weeks for you? Because you were watching this team and you wanted them to get in, and they, obviously you can't snap your fingers and they get in. But now that they're in, looking back, last couple of weeks, what was it like for you?
Well, I went through a period where I was absolutely a basket case, and I was living and dying on every pitch, and then sort of like a light went on, and I started thinking that I didn't live in New Orleans, and health wasn't involved, and if we lost it, we lost it. It wasn't important in the scheme of things in the world, and I got a lot calmer until the 9th inning. And then I was a basket case again.
I spoke with Ozzie Guillen earlier today. Obviously, your goal is to win a World Series, but I asked Ozzie, and I actually asked Harold Baines this too, who are they going to think of if they win a World Series? And they both said the same thing, Jerry Reinsdorf.
Oh, it's very nice.
What does that mean to you?
Coming from those guys, it means an awful lot. An awful lot. And, if we don't win it, it won't be because they didn't put all the possible effort into it that they could. But if we could do this for the city of Chicago, it would be mind-boggling. I mean, 1917 is a long time. It's even a day or two before I was born.
What about this? I'm actually curious, what kind of phone calls from your friends were you getting over this last couple weeks? Because this was national news that this lead had shrunk.
Well, my friends are all afraid to talk to me. When people called about other things, they would apologize for calling. And, saying, oh, we didn't want to bother you, we didn't know what to say to you. So now imagine they can call. They want to feel bad.
But it doesn't get any easier. You've been to the Bulls championships. You've had success with the White Sox. But when it's coming down to the very end, as an owner, difficult to watch these final moments?
Well, no question, especially when, you've got two guys on and the winning run is at the plate. That's sort of tough. And then all of a sudden the ball was hit like a shot. There's no time to think. And I was looking right at Paulie's face. He caught that ball. I think he was the most surprised guy in the building.
I did ask you this. Did you know that if the White Sox won last game was
Stand by, guys.
All right, obviously the champagne shorting out some of the wires, it seems like, but the White Sox division champions for the first time since 2000. You saw Jerry Reinsdorf. He has said in the past, hey, I'd trade those Bulls championships if I could get one for the White Sox. He's going to have another chance to make a run at it this season.
Well, you can tell that with that clubhouse how euphoric it is. And the reason it is, when you see all that champagne flowing right there, it's been a long grind for these guys. They're mentally exhausted. Now they're relieved. And, the White Sox were picked as a ball club to come in 3rd or 4th. The Detroit Tigers were actually picked in front of them, the Cleveland Indians, the Minnesota Twins. For them to carry this all the way down through 158, 59 games, and win the Central, I think, is really important. It's really a testament, I think. I think a lot of things have been said today, and I'm sure we're going to hear this over and over and in the papers. But when you're a general manager and you turn your ball club around and your manager decide that you're going to go a different route when you have two all-stars in Carlos Lee and Maglio Ordonez and Frank Thomas and all that power, and just overnight you woke up and had an epiphany and said, here's the bottom line. We're going to change our team. This is what Ozzie wanted. He had it in Florida. He had speed up front. He wanted that type of ball club with good pitching, and they did it. So for those guys to turn around the first year with a whole different ball club in a different philosophy, to turn around and win the Central against a very good Cleveland team, the reason the Minnesota Twins weren't involved, they had outstanding pitching, was the fact that they just didn't have any hitting. We see that with the White Sox, but the White Sox managed to manufacture a lot of runs. This is why it's always important in April and May to win as many games as you can, because you're going to run into problems during the year, and the White Sox did in August and part of September. The starting rotation broke down. That was something that we never thought would happen because they were going so well in the first. But more importantly, the baseball department changing the philosophy of the White Sox, turning around, bringing a bunch of new guys in, and turn around right now and have 96 wins with 3 games to play. That's really a testament to the baseball department, and that's why I think these guys are so euphoric, is because they weren't picked to do anything. They've been the underdogs the whole way.
And if they can win these last 3 games in Cleveland, still something to play for. One is home field advantage. The other, if they win all 3 games, they would tie the 83 Sox with 99 wins in the regular season. You're seeing the celebration out in Detroit right now here on U.S. Cellular White Sox postgame live. We've had some interviews already. Obviously, high-tech electronics does not mix well with champagne, so we're having a little difficulty hearing them at this point, but you can see, obviously, they're having a great time out there. Bill, a key to the first and second half of the season that you see for the White Sox?
Well, I just thought the first half, this was a ball club that was very good situational hitting. They executed very well. We're talking about Scott Posednik stealing 50-some bases, most of them in the first half, getting in scoring position. It was Iguchi moving him to third, and it was every guy in the lineup driving him in. And, of course, it was great pitching, and I'm talking about the starters. They led the American League in the first half with quality starts. That's number one. Our bullpen was number one until Cleveland overtook us. So, you know, the pitching basically stayed intact in the first half, and it was all about execution and situational hitting. And most importantly that I've seen that's really improved was up the middle. A.J. Pierzynski behind the plate. You got Juan Uribe at shortstop, which was a position he had played, but last year he played, you know, other positions for us all over the place. Iguchi tightened it up on the second base side, and of course Aaron Rowan improved in center field. So when you're better up the middle, you're going to be a better ball club. And add that with pitching, that would probably give you a lot more wins, and that's what happened with the White Sox. And then there's a lot of luck involved. There's no question about it. We didn't have any major injuries. Scott Posednik went down, and you saw what happened in the ball club for 2 or 3 weeks when the tempo of the game and the speed of the game changed at the top. So to me, the first half was Scott Posednik. The second half, I think success lies on Juan Uribe. This is a guy that made a lot of great plays at shortstop, came up big. The White Sox came up big defensively, and you know, the pitching finally turned around so far to this point, and no better time on September 27th to improve on your pitching.
And I think when you look forward to the playoffs and the key to the playoffs, pitching, starting pitching is going to be a given for any team in the playoffs, but it might go back to Posednik again in the playoffs. Can they get him going? He had a couple stolen bases yesterday, a hit today. Maybe he can heal up just enough that he can be a major factor here in the playoffs.
Well, I feel this way you're going to have to, because, you know, you got a long winter. I mean, you have plenty of time to heal. Not saying that's going to help him run a little bit faster. I think he's going to have to pick opportune times. We're talking maybe the 6th, 7th inning. The White Sox are down by a run. They haven't been hitting the ball well against a tough pitcher in the playoffs, so he steals second. Hey, maybe he steals third. You don't have to run all the time. Just why don't you pick some key situations where the ball club is either maybe ahead by a run or down by a run, and pick those particular times, and the bottom line is you might come up big that way. And again, I think the White Sox will go to back to their manufacturing of runs. I think you'll see the ball club that you saw in the first half, because now the pitching tightened up a little bit, and I think that's the strength of the White Sox going in the playoffs. They're very capable of playing 1- and 2-run games.
All right, we've got Chuck Garfien hooked back up. The champagne's dried out on the microphone, and he's with Bobby Jenks. Chuck?
Yeah, I just got totally sprayed. Thank you very much. Bobby Jenks. All right, Bobby. How does that champagne feel in the eyes right about now?
Burns like nothing other.
Oh, man. Now, Bobby, we're live here on Comcast Sportsnet, and I got to tell you, you come in there, 8th and 9th inning in this situation. You've never been in this situation before as a player in the major leagues. What was your heart beating a mile a minute?
I mean, well, not really. I make sure I stay, keep my breathing in control and just stay focused out there, making sure I just got one pitch at a time.
How about the experience? How great is this experience for you?
Oh, it don't get any better than this. I mean, well, I'm sure it does, winning the World Series, but right now, being the first, it don't get no better.
These guys have been very open to you. I know that you came in here, you didn't start with this team, and do you feel a part of this team now?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, from spring training on, I'm, just, the attitudes in the clubhouse, everybody's just open, just, they don't care where you've been or what you do. It's just, they like you for who you are. It's awesome.
And I know Dustin, who was in the closer role in the beginning of this, or midway through the season, it was really his job. You're sometimes in that position, but he's been a great teammate for you, right?
Oh, yeah. I mean, Dustin's done an outstanding job all year long. I mean, unfortunately, with his back and everything, had to shut him down. But, I mean, he's the reason that this team, one of the biggest reasons that the team as far as they did. Him coming in, picking up that closing role early in the season.
Now, you guys were toying with us a little bit, right? You wanted to make this interesting. You guys could have won it a while ago, but you just want a little more drama, correct?
Hey, we won. That's all that matters. That's all that counts. We're in.
Bobby, congratulations. We'll see you a lot more of you, hopefully, okay? Okay. That's Bobby Jenks, reliever. We'll call him reliever extraordinaire right now. He's been that good. I'm with Cliff Polite right here. So AJ, you guys, Pierzynski goes by. All right, Cliff, you've been so stellar all season long. This excitement for you, you've been around the majors. Where does this team rank with the kind of teams that you've played for? There's no ice being thrown all over the place by Juan Uribe, by the way.
You know what, I tell you what, I played this game. I've been in the big leagues for 6-7 years and played in the minor leagues for a while, and this is everything you hoped it would be. From day one, this team's been pretty, everybody gelled together. There's been no cliques in this team. Everybody pulls for each other through thick and thin. Even when we struggled the last month or whatever, everybody was gelling. Everybody's pulling for each other. And the fact that we're doing this today as a team is awesome. It's an awesome feeling. These guys deserve it. It's a great feeling.
We're live here on Comcast Sportsnet, and I was wondering, were you stressed? Were you tense thinking, you know, what if this has to go to Cleveland?
It would have been a tough series. You got to tip your hat to Cleveland. That's a great team that's out there to battle, and they're playing hard every day. They gave us the run. We still have to go in there and take care of our business to get home field advantage for the rest of the year, through the playoffs. And it's not going to be. That's a tough team. They put the pressure on us. They had nothing to lose, and we had everything to lose. So.
Your bullpen has been stellar in many, many situations this year. But how about the starting pitching over the last week and a half? Because in a way, that really saved the season for you.
Starter's been there all year. You know, there was a time where at the beginning of the season they dealt, and of course they're going to hit a little bump in the road. And for each starter to go out there the last 2 starts and go 7 or 8 innings, it's been tremendous for the bullpen. It helped us out a lot. But you can't say enough to the starting pitchers. They've been out there every 5 days battling all year long.
Why don't we show off the hat? 05 Division Series. It's going to be collector's items, I bet, huh?
It's going to be on my mantle. It's going to be a fun thing.
That's a shower from Ross Glow. That was from him to you.
That's awesome. It's a great feeling.
The key is the hat, I'm finding out. You're okay with the hat.
Yeah, if you have it on backwards, it goes in your eyes. You have it on forward, the bill saves you.
All right, there's definitely strategy here. Okay, Cliff, congratulations. I really appreciate it. All right, no problem.
Thank you.
Great victory for the White Sox. Cliff Polite and company. As the celebration continues here, live in the White Sox clubhouse, as people, you know, it's a live locker room. People are just going to walk right in front of the camera and not even realize that you're on. But that is the situation. And I see some guys across the locker room that I'd like to get. Here's Joe Creedy. Let me see if I can get Joe. Hey, Joe, got a second? Yeah. Really good. Hey, Joe, we're live here on Comcast Sportsnet. I think a lot of fans would like to know how your family's doing because you stepped away for a couple of days to be with your wife, your pregnant wife.
Oh, everybody's doing great. You know, the baby's doing great. Lucy's doing good. My wife, Lisa, you know, everybody's doing great. You know, I wouldn't be here if they weren't, but, you know, it was definitely tough leaving them, but you know what, they're healthy. Glad to be here and glad to be celebrating with my second family.
Yeah. Family comes first, then there's this. How anxious were you then, once you knew everything was okay, to come back here and be a part of this?
God, I wanted to catch a flight out last night, and I was about midnight whenever you know, I had everything lined up to where everybody's going to, you know, be there with my wife and make sure everything was okay. But, you know, I got it lined up, and I was able to catch a flight at 8 o'clock this morning.
Ozzie said that, you know, when you came back here, you want to make sure that you were okay. You prepared mentally, because when you're away from the team, it might take a little bit of time to get back. I'm imagining you're okay right now.
Yeah, you know, knowing that the family's good and, you know, we finally clinched this thing, you know, everything, just icing on the cake here.
Joe Creedy, thank you. Congratulations.
Thank you.
All right. There's Joe Creedy leaving the clubhouse as the celebration is underway. And I think it's a little bit wrapping up here. So, you know what, we're going to take care of some things around here and send it back to the studio with Luke Stuckmeyer. Luke?
All right, thanks, Chuck. And obviously, we are still looking at the clubhouses. There's a lot of stuff going on. Bill, some of the guys he's talked to, whether it's Joe Creedy or Cliff Polite, Bobby Jenks, Juan Uribe, that's one of the strengths of this team is they are one of the deepest teams in Major League Baseball this year.
Well, you know, if they have success in the postseason, I think it's going to have a lot to do with the depth of the pitching staff. When we talk about the 5 starters that are quality, we also talk about the 6 guys in the bullpen that I call, you know, power pitchers. I mean, they don't all throw 100 miles an hour, but they'll all challenge you, and you got to have a pretty quick bat to hit them. So I think the White Sox have a lot of depth in their pitching. I think, I don't know where that lands you in a 5-game series. I think it benefits you more in a 7-game series than it does in the 5-game. But I think in the 5-game, it's like almost do or die. You're going to have to, if your starter's getting hit in the 3rd or 4th inning, you're going to go immediately. I would assume Ozzie Guillen will go right to that bullpen because it's like a round robin. It's that day or nothing. And it's over with really quick. As soon as you lose 3 games, you're out of it. So I think a lot of times they'll go to that bullpen quicker than they have to. But each guy throws the same kind of velocity. They have that type of pitching where I think if you look at the New York Yankees, if you don't get to Mariano Rivera, you can wear that bullpen out. So there would be one of the strengths of the White Sox. Of course, Cliff Polite, his first half, I think his ERA was about 1.5. I mean, that's probably the best first half he's ever had. But all of these guys, I mean, it's just right on down the line. Each and every, you know, they all talk about family. Well, it is. It is their second family. And again, I'll go back to the fact that this ball club right here was not even looked at on a national basis. They played a lot of close ball games. Everybody was waiting for them to tumble. And I'm here to tell people to get off the ledge. They did make it. You might as well go out and celebrate like the White Sox, because we've all been a nervous wreck. I mean, here we are again today, going in, you need a win, and all of a sudden it's 4-1. The next thing is 4-2, and the next thing you know, you got the winning run at the plate and the tying run at first base. But this is nothing new. So I think the White Sox are very, I hope those aren't Cuban cigars, but maybe they are. We got a couple of guys that might have had them exported over here. But I think it's great. It's hard to express the feeling that these players have. I think it's more of relief. I think it's they're happy, but I think they're really relieved because now maybe on the media side of it, now they'll probably get praised a little bit for winning the Central. They've been beat up pretty bad. That's okay. That's really part of the game. It bothered some. It didn't bother others. And it was like, well, now we're going to show you. And now they can. And Juan Uribe must like that cigar. It made him look like a jumping bean running out there. But, you know, that's just a bunch of happy campers. I'm not really sure 3 years ago Minnesota appreciated that, because 5 years ago we did that on their field, sliding into home plate with beers and stuff. And of course, they came back and won the Central 3 years in a row. So anyway, happy for the White Sox. The players are relieved. I don't know what's going to happen this weekend. Cleveland is a ball club that needs to win for the wild card. I don't know if Ozzy's going to rest anybody. I know it's very important to stay sharp. Maybe some guys will play 5 innings and be taken out of the game. We'll just have to wait and see. Some guys, because of injuries, might need some rest. You might not see as much. Scott Posednik, I think that's the important guy. We might not see as much of him in the Cleveland series. But again, the White Sox are going for home field advantage. I mean, do we want to open up the playoffs at the U.S. Cell, or do we want to go to Yankee Stadium?
They still definitely have something to play for when they go to Cleveland. They can't just mail it in and go to Cleveland, because they want to play for home field advantage. Right now, we still don't know who the White Sox would play. If things ended the way they did right now with the standings, they'd probably be facing the Angels. They can't face Cleveland because they're in the division. If Cleveland does not make the playoffs, then you're talking about the Red Sox or Yankees.
Well, I'm going to speak for myself. I personally hope the Indians do not become the wild card, because I do not want to go out to Anaheim and play the LA Angels. I mean, it's too much of a ball club like the White Sox. We've never played well on the West Coast. This was the first year we really played 500 against the Angels, so I prefer to play the Red Sox and or the Yankees.
All right, let's get back to the interviews and the celebration. Chuck Garfien with John Garland. Chuck?
Be out there.
All right, we're here with John Garland live here on Comcast Sportsnet. John, 3-0 lead, then a 4-0 lead. Then things got a little interesting. How nervous are you sitting on that bench watching this?
You can never count out a major league team. I don't care what I don't care what team it is, what inning it is. You can never count out a major league team. You know, we came to play today. We knew what we had to do, and we got things accomplished.
Yeah. How were you the last couple of weeks? You guys knew you're in a good position to win, but you never knew, like you said.
I think the biggest thing is we were getting down on ourselves. You know what? We got into a little funk, and we were worried about Cleveland a little bit too much, I think. And you can't worry about a team that's doing that well. I mean, they're pretty much putting every other team in the major leagues to shame the way they were playing. But these last 2 games, we came out and worried about ourselves and did what we needed to do.
I think we all have to admit, media, players, everyone in general, this kind of snuck up on everybody. Did you know last night that if you guys won the game and if Cleveland lost, you'd be in position today to win?
We caught wind of that late last night. Yeah. After the game, when we were leaving, we caught wind of that because of the situation, how it was. And it kind of lightened guys up and brightened them up a little bit, knowing if we won today that things were done. I think guys came to the ballpark ready to play, and that's what happens.
What have you learned about this team in the last few days?
From day one, spring training, everybody's gotten along. Everybody's had a great time. Everybody's had fun. And hopefully it doesn't stop here. Hopefully guys continue to have fun, continue to keep rolling and getting along and just playing the game of baseball.
What works on this team? You guys have the talent on the field, but there's a chemistry as well. What's going on here with this group?
I definitely think it's just the way we play. And the way we are around each other. A lot of times you go in a lot of clubhouse, and over that longer period of time, every day, somebody's going to get in a fight. Somebody doesn't want to see somebody, and it didn't happen. It didn't happen in this clubhouse. Everybody's gotten along from day one of spring training. Everybody's had a great time, And you can tell. I mean, when people come into this clubhouse, you can tell people are having fun and having a good time, and it never changed from game one.
All right, John, congratulations. Great
Thank you very
stuff.
much. I appreciate
Okay.
it.
John Garland will probably be pitching this weekend in Cleveland. Obviously, the stakes are going to be much different, but he'll be in position there, and he'll pitch sometime in the postseason. Dustin Hermanson getting a nice bath. Dustin, yeah, he's having a good time there. So a lot going on here. I think the guys just were out on the field taking some pictures, a team photo, and now they're back in here filing in. Let me try and get to Dustin Hermanson if I can. I got to go over here. Hey, Dustin. You seem to be having a great time. Everyone's having a great time, but
no, it's a terrible time. Oh my God.
But you've been in the league a long time. I find that you would be one to appreciate it even a little more than everybody else because you know what it's like.
I thank God every day for being here, man. This has been a great season, and I think a lot of people didn't think we were going to do it. Pretty much everybody, except for the guys in this clubhouse, and I mean, great family, bunch of brothers here.
Yeah.
So it's been awesome. It's been a great year.
We're live here on Comcast Sports Net. Everyone wants to know how your back's been doing. You hear that all the time. How are you feeling? I know you're feeling great right now, but I mean, that feels really
I'm
good.
getting my ice bath right now, and the back, the back's feeling pretty good. So.
They actually poured it right down your back.
This makes it more sweeter, though. I mean, battling something throughout the year, and this happening to us. I mean, it just makes it all that more important and that more sweet. And I mean, I'm sure I'll be numb the rest of the year, so it doesn't really matter.
Talking to Paul Konerko, he said that this might be good for you. The fact that you guys have basically been playing playoff baseball for the last couple of weeks, and it tested you because if you just coast into the postseason, you're up for the postseason, but you're really not tested. Do you agree with that?
Oh yeah, I've seen teams that have come in the postseason that finish 2 weeks early, and it's tough to get back into it. So this probably was good for us. But the best thing about it is we had a lot of people that doubted us, and guess what? We're here, man. So everybody right about that one.
Were you stressed at all, or did you feel all along this team is going to win this division?
I'll tell you what, man. I think I'm stressed out every game. Every first game of the season, I'm stressed out. I don't think if you feel that, then you shouldn't be here. Because that's what makes the game fun. Because I mean, it's just the competitiveness is there. We have a good team. I mean, we're just having fun, man. We just want to. This isn't it, though. We're not stopping here. So. But I know everybody else is thinking the same thing, so we got to show up, we got to be ready to play, and that's all there is to it.
And I know you've taken Bobby Jenks under your wing. You've really been a good emotional support for him. Was that important for you when he came in to, because it could have been a difficult situation, but you made it a lot lighter, and he really appreciates that. Was that something that you were conscious of?
Well, yeah, I mean, it's important. I mean, we had about 3 or 4 closures down there in his bullpen, and for him to come in and actually helped me out quite a bit because I was struggling through this injury, and he's strong. He has no injuries or anything. He's doing good, and he picked us up where we needed it. Right. And everybody has. Everybody's did their part, and that's the reason why we're here this postseason.
Dustin, congratulations. All right, no problem. Dustin Hermanson. He was a starter. Comes over here. He's now a reliever, and he's been doing the job for the White Sox. By the way, I've got a little souvenir here as well. Everyone's been kind of grabbing onto these. These are obviously champagne corks for these kind of situations, and the White Sox clearly want a few more of these corks over the next few weeks. I'll get some more, guys. We're going to toss right back to Luke Stuckmeyer in the studio with Bill Milton, guys.
All right, thanks, Chuck. Bill, when they see that interview with Dustin Hermanson, he's the type of player that Kenny Williams tried to bring in. Along with an A.J. Brzezinski. Maybe not a lot of teams were going after this guy, but he really fit the mold of this team.
Well, I've always been interested to know how guys felt when the season's over, when they do pick the Chicago White Sox. He was a free agent, and he signed a 2-year deal with the White Sox. And I've always been interested to find out why they picked the White Sox, because we don't have that long history of winning and stuff. There was something Kenny Williams told him, something he liked about this ball club, whether it was Ozzie Guillen, the manager. I don't ever know, and maybe someday it'll come out. But you got to be happy for a guy like that. He makes a choice. He makes a choice to be in a ball club. It's all about money. Let's not kid ourselves. But also to have that ball club wind up being what it is, a family. It wind up a ball club that, won the Central, that'll go to the postseason, which every ball player wants to do. So when you really look at a guy like Dustin Hermanson, even though he has the bad back, you got to be happy for him because he made the right choice.
All right, we just got the wave from our Chuck Garfien. He's got another interview in the clubhouse. Chuck?
We're here. All right, Greg, we're live here on Comcast Sportsnet. All right, you were part of this team in 1983. You're here in 2005. similarities between these two teams?
Yeah, there really is. I mean, the pitching was what carried us back then, and we had some gutsy guys and good chemistry on that team, and it's the same formula here now. Great pitching, guys with guts that go out and battle and fight the fight, and they did good. I'm proud of them.
These guys were struggling with the bats. You're the hitting coach. Things turned around yesterday. Was there something you could have done?
I've said all along that this team gets by on guts. You know, you look at the Yankees lineup, Boston's lineup. We knew when we came out of spring training we weren't going to be a great offensive team. But what we depended on was the guys with guts and getting the job done. We play a different style of baseball than everybody else. You know, we play a conservative at times and aggressive at times. Aussie ball, whatever you want to call it. But I'm going to tell you, baseball is a player's game. And I'm so proud for these players. I mean, I experienced it once in '83. There'll be a bond between these people forever for all of us, really. But ultimately, it's a player's game. I'm proud for Ozzie. I know he had a lot of ups and downs this year, but this was his vision. And other than the players, he's the main person behind it. And I'm proud for our owners. They've been a big part of my life, my adult life, and I'm so proud for them. And we all want to win it for them and our fans. I mean, I can't imagine winning anywhere else and even coming close to winning here with the White Sox because, I mean, it might sound a little corny, but I really care a lot about the White Sox people, and I know that they put their faith in me, and I feel like that I want to get it done for them, and this is the first step.
In '83, you guys won 99 games. You go against the Orioles. You lose in 4. It was really quick. Tony La Russa said maybe he could have gotten you guys a little more prepared because it's just so quick. Will you take any of your experience and bring it on these guys?
Well, I fall back on Tony La Russa all the time. I mean, he's brilliant, and I'm sure as Tony's gone on in his years of managing, he has learned some stuff, but he was awesome back then, too. You know, he reminds me a lot of Ozzie. He was a young, dynamic manager that drug us along with him back then, and I think Ozzie's got a chance of being that good, too. You know, he's got a long way to go in this game to accomplish what Tony's accomplished, but he's got the same characteristic, real dynamic guy that you want to play for, and I'm proud for Tony. He meant a lot to me in my life, too. I learned a lot from him, but as far as preparing, you know, this team prepares. We get ready to play, and I think now that we're in, that we'll relax, and everybody will say we're not good, and we'll be the underdog, and watch out.
Okay, and you got the sunglasses, which there's definitely, that was smart in here.
Yeah, well, I knew there's some guys that probably wanted to hit me over the head with the champagne bottle instead of pour it on me, so I should have wore a helmet in here. But, you know, I'm just so proud of these players and proud for them. It's a very precious moment in their life, and, you know, hopefully we get this job done, and then we'll all have something to remember for the rest of our life.
I think these guys are going to be in here all night, huh?
Be fine with me.
I'm sure it's okay with you. It'll be a nice drive to Cleveland now, I'm sure.
Yeah. Snapped my fingers when we were there.
Yeah, okay. Greg Walker, hitting coach for the Chicago White Sox. Luke, we'll send it back to you.
All right, thanks, Chuck. And as we heard Greg Walker talking about, Bill, the White Sox are a different type of team. They don't have the big boppers that the Red Sox, Yankees have, and they have played in a lot of close games. How do you think that'll affect them come playoff time?
Well, I think that's their biggest plus. They have accepted, you listen to Greg Walker, the hitting coach right there, they have accepted their fate. They did that in spring training, so they're not surprised they played so many close games. They knew they weren't the big behemoth like the New York Yankees or the Boston Red Sox. They knew they had to do it a different way. And you know what? They accepted Ozzie. It's almost like football. You know, you accept a coach's plan and you carry it out through the season. Well, the White Sox bought into Ozzie's plan and they carried it out through the season. Yeah, there's been a lot of ups and downs, probably more than we suspected, but, you know, that's the way baseball is, just up, down, peaks, valleys. But again, the team accepted Ozzie's way of playing, and they played hard every day. He didn't care if you were losing 10-1. You're going to run out to first base. You're going to break up double plays. You're going to advance runners even when we're down. So they've accepted their type of baseball, and I think that's going to carry them. I think that's going to be what carries them in playoff time, not to expect the big 3-run home run, not to expect, even though they'd like to have that. Trust me, nobody likes to play 1-run ball games. But they played in so many, it's not going to surprise them. The element of, you know, playoff, well, there's a lot of guys that haven't been there, but there's been some guys that have been there, so that's the biggest surprise.
All right, Chuck Garfien with the star of the day. Chuck, take it away.
Here with Freddie Garcia. Freddie, this, you know, your team needed you, and you stepped up in a big way here today.
You know, there's no, I can explain, man. You know, I was go there and pitch my game. You know, make my pitch and, you know, try to throw a lot of innings. You know, keep the guys in the game. They score 4 runs for me, and that's what we need.
The last time the White Sox were in the playoffs, you played against them. You were playing for Seattle, but now you're in this clubhouse.
Yeah, you know, it's a different experience. You know, I got a chance today to be the guy to clinch. You know, I was looking for, when I was in Seattle, I never had the chance to pitch in one game to clinch. I was looking for, but you know, today I got a chance, and I'm really happy, and you know, I think we deserve to be here right now and celebrate.
All right, Freddie, congratulations, okay? Enjoy the celebration, all right? Freddie Garcia, we're trying to get Ozzie. We're going to get Ozzie in a second. We'll send it back to you in the studio.
Bill, what'd you like today about Freddie Garcia? He's had 2 really good starts in a row now. Ozzie said going into this one, Freddie is a big-time pitcher. This is a big-time game. I think he's going to do it, and he came through.
Yeah, have you noticed how much the Cuban and Latin players like them cigars? You know, Freddie Garcia, you're right. I mean, we met him in the year 2000. We actually knocked him out in the first game. So, you know, I think it's a good thrill for him because Ozzie's a good friend.
All right, and here is Ozzie Gain with Chuck Garfien. Chuck?
Here with Ozzie. Ozzie, this, how does it feel to breathe, first of all?
Well, it's great. I think I feel so proud of my team. I think I feel so great about it to get this thing done. I think not too many people know how hard we work, how these people stick together to make it happen. I think it's a great feeling. It's a compliment when you work so hard during the winter and doing spring training and come here, and that's why we work all this time just to get this thing done.
What did you learn about this team? I mean, you knew what you had at spring training, but things develop, things evolve. The team you have right now versus the team you had in the beginning, the same. Where are you at right now with this guy?
Well, the only thing I can tell about this guy, everybody baseball had to know these things stick together, and that's why they're winning. We don't have here superstars. We don't have here people making $100 million. I wish I would, but I think we have people here, they believe in themselves, they stick up for each other, they love each other, and that's why they're celebrating right now.
You were on the team in 93. I asked Greg Walker comparing this team to 83. How about 93 to this year's team?
Well, 93 I was a player, enjoy a little bit more. When you're a manager, you try to stay away from the celebration, but I think we have more talent in 1993 we have right now. You know what I mean? And that's why I feel so proud of this team, because without that much talent, like people say, we play great, we execute, we never give up, and the biggest thing about this team, they always believe they can do this. And when you look around, look at the player we have, a lot of people put a lot of doubts. Can we pull the trigger? And they make a lot of people feel wrong now.
Right, so you had this 15-game lead. It comes down, there was all the negativity you felt out there. Look at this clubhouse right now. Everyone is celebrating. Well, how does that feel for you?
I feel great because I know how hard they work. I know they was worried about more than I did. And those kids is always was taking punishment for people. You know, even when you win 95 games and you see you're taking punishment from everyone, that's why those guys, they deserve where they are right now.
Well, here's your pitcher, Mark Burley.
One of those guys, you drive me crazy.
All right, a nice moment there between Ozzie and Mark Burley. And actually, we're going to come over here and talk to Don Cooper, the pitching coach. Joe Borchert,
also gay.
Congratulations. As we try to move here across the clubhouse, it does take a little bit of while. We've got a lot of wires here. Hey, Don. Congratulations. Big victory. You got the victory cigar. Was that the first cigar, or are you already in a second?
The first cigar I've ever had. That's how happy I am.
We're live here on Comcast Sports. You're about to get a beer bath from your pitcher, John Garland. You know, everyone has said that it's the pitching staff. The pitching staff. You're in charge of that pitching staff. These guys have been there for you all season long.
Yeah, they have. I'm awful proud of them, but I'm proud of everybody in the room. Because, you know, early in the season when everything was rolling our way, yeah, we had outstanding pitching, we had great defense, we had the timely hitting. So it really is everybody in the room contributing. And I don't know if there's any better feeling. I mean, this is something this is the first step along the way and everything, but, you know, that last out, we've been waiting for that one since February 17th. You know, and a lot of things have been going through my mind over the last 2 weeks, but it's finally nice to get there and get it done, and now we can, you know, refocus tomorrow, try to beat the Indians and play the string out here, but really look a little further ahead also and get ready for the second big challenge.
You didn't win this division until obviously right now, but did you feel in a sense, because you had such a big lead, you kind of owned it to yourselves, not to yourselves, but basically you felt it was yours for the taking, and it just didn't happen until now?
I think we all thought it was going to be ours. I thought we all thought we were going to win it. We just didn't know exactly when. but we got it done today. You know, for a while there, we're having a tough time. But it's really nice.
Yeah, that's got to feel really good, especially if it's from a pitcher, huh?
Can you get a pan down?
Well, we probably don't want to do that. So anyway, they're wrapping things up here in the clubhouse. The celebration is about to be closed here, at least to the media, so to speak. And it's just been a great afternoon for this franchise, and the hope is that they can continue this into the playoffs. We don't know who they're going to play, obviously, but for the moment, it's feeling really good here for the White Sox. Send it back to you.
A.J. Przinsky rolling up the sleeves. I don't know if that's going to be a good thing or a bad thing as far as the celebration goes out there, Bill.
Well, that's for sure. Everybody's involved in it, even the pitching coach. But, you know, this is their time. I'm glad to see they're going to lock that clubhouse up, get everybody out there, and let them be themselves. Obviously, they're themselves right now, but I'm afraid if Juan Uribe puffs on that cigar any harder, he's going to burn himself. So, you know what? I'd hate to be in there because you talk about secondhand smoke, man. You'd be dead by the time you walked out of that thing. I don't think any of them smoke cigars, to be honest with you.
They're probably all going to be sick by the end of the night. There's no question about that. And the only guy who didn't have champagne in his hair was Ozzie. How has he avoided the thing the whole time?
He's the manager. I guess.
You got it, douse him once,
well, he was probably outside talking on the field. He probably just walked in, and that was probably the first interview, and nobody saw him, because I'll guarantee you he will be drenched.
I'm wondering if he said to the team before the game, touch my hair, and you won't be playing in the playoffs. Guys, here's the score. It was 4-2, in case you forgot how the game went.
Yeah,
White Sox beat the Tigers 4-2, and they had to hang on. The winning run was at the plate in the 9th inning. Bobby Jenks came in to get that final out, and he did the job, closed it out. White Sox now 96-63. If they win the final 3 games of the regular season at Cleveland, they'll have 99 wins, just like the 1983 team. Only one White Sox team in franchise history has ever won 100. Of course, this year's team can't do it. The 1917 White Sox were 154 on their way to the World Series championship. A big win for the White Sox. They have clinched the American League Central Division for the 2nd time in franchise history, their 4th division championship in the last 25 years. Cleveland can still win the wild card, and those 3 games, Bill, are still important in Cleveland because we have not clinched home field advantage yet.
You know, they are important, and I think the White Sox are going to play it that way. They're going to get this out of their system today. They're going to feel good about themselves tomorrow, and actually I think that in the papers they're going to congratulate the Cleveland Indians on the run that they gave them, because if it wasn't for the Cleveland Indians, who knows how the White Sox will be playing. Right now, we just had our last 7 or 8 starts have been outstanding. It's what you need going into the playoffs. You have to have your pitching rotation in order and throwing well, and the Cleveland Indians allowed the White Sox to put themselves in that position, really. And I think the players are going to be very complimentary to the Indians about what they did to them and put the pressure on them. And, you know, I think the Indians are going to be around for a while. I thought in 2000 the White Sox would be around for a while. Well, guess what? The Cleveland Indians won in 2001, and I still, to this day, say that 2000 team should have lasted 3 or 4 years longer in winning the division. It's not guaranteed every year. I guess that's what I'm saying. So the Indians will be better. I think the White Sox will be a better team next year. I really do.
All right, keep the celebration rolling. White Sox, our Central Division champs. Much more coming from Detroit and right back here in Chicago as well on U.S. Cellular White Sox post-game live right after a quick break.